What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for sharing time and space with me and taking time out of your day to connect with me on my YouTube channel. This channel is, almost had a glitch, my bad. This channel is dedicated to spreading knowledge, spreading a wealth of information, plethora of treasures that have been hidden from the general public for decades now. But we're in that awakening cycle. We're in the sun cycle again. It's time for the sons of God, the daughters of God to rise to who they truly are. We're one. We're put here to love each other. We're put here to be stewards of one another's emotions and uplift our home. If nobody takes care of Earth, nobody's going to take care of Earth but us. And I can't thank you guys enough for rocking with me tonight. So much has just transpired in a short period of time, and I think a lot of people are really getting to the point of being discouraged and giving up. But don't give up, because you're not in this battle alone. We're all fighting it together. We all see what's going on collectively, and we're pulling the curtain behind the wizard that's been conducting all this bullshit since forever. So I'm doing my part to get the information out, and having you guys join in that process is just extra bonus. And again, I can't thank you enough. So please like, comment, share, subscribe as you see fit. Let's get the video up to 200 likes. I believe in what I'm doing because I'm doing it for the right reasons, and just having my soul tribe, my soul family out there resonate with me makes just the biggest difference. So with all that being said, get you something to eat, get you something to drink. It's time to get weird.
Right. We're supposed to have 13 months of 28 days, with one day, the day of resurrection, Easter, as a neutral day. That's our 365 days. We've actually got 13 constellations, not 12. This same calendar is very close to the Mayan calendar, but it's also very close to several ancient Sanskrit calendars. What does sept mean? 7. I thought that was the 9th month. What does oct mean? What does nov mean? What does dec mean? It's supposed to be the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th month. Jan is 11. Feb is 12. March is 13. April is our first month. Babies are born in the spring, the 1st of April, Easter.
It makes sense.
This is the start of our new year. It's the start of spring, when the flowers start coming up, the grass starts coming up, the trees start leafing out, the babies are born. That's the first day.
Just aside real quick. Being that we're all made up of the elemental matters of the universe, so we are governed by our astrological chart and our photonic makeup. People in power notice. So if I was a money-grubbing, narcissistic, egotistical, maniacal hoarder of resources, and I wanted to control the people that didn't have the knowledge of self and how they are naturally aligned with the movements of the stars and the rotation of the planets, wouldn't I lie and fabricate a few things in regards to those cycles and how those same people are governed emotionally, mentally, spiritually by these factors. Because that would throw off their circadian rhythm, in essence, throwing off how they should respond at a given point in the astrological sphere, and manipulate that to my liking. There's a quote, and I forget who said it. Billionaires study astrology. Think about it. And these are the people that run our world, so-called run our world. We know what they're really doing, but yeah, billionaires study astrology because they're studying human nature. They're studying our patterns and our habits. It's all in the stars. Take your sovereignty back and do your research. This is for entertainment purposes only.
Every day the oceans scare me more and more. I understand why we went to space. I'm thinking this overturned boat or something. You know what I'm saying, son? No. It's fucking Godzilla. Like, there's no way turtles is ever supposed to get that fucking big. That nigga just ran into Blastoise. Some moving, grooving, vibing, sliding. I never even knew I was supposed to be scared of turtles. Like, a leatherback sea turtle, I swear to God, is not supposed to get this big. Like, come on, son. That does not look like no animal. Like, what the fuck? I think I'd rather run into a shark because it like shit got some teeth on it, boy. God, my foot would be gone, gang. That always does scare me, son, because that's egregious. 5% of the ocean. We've been here since ever.
How do you measure
as humans? You know what I'm saying? BCAD, 5%.
I think it's
I'm telling you, bro, something happened down there. Niggas saw something. They go, what the fuck? You know what? Hell no. Space. I don't give a fuck. Down, up. We going up. Understand? We talking about heaven, hell.
You know.
That must have been hell down there because what the fuck was that? As you know, space is too. They talking about going to Mars. The fuck was down there, bro? That 95%, my nigga. I need to know. Fuck around, be a Gartha. Finding Nemo, downsize the fuck out of buddy because this shit right, that's Godzilla for real. Blastoise, whatever you want to call it, that's not no turtle though. Like, you imagine the shit it's seen in its lifetime? Like, that shit probably been around since Christopher Columbus was crossing the fucking waters.
That's why you're back here. Some of you are back here on this planet for karmic reasons. Karma means simply you didn't do something right, and so you had to get it straight before what you were worth coming back here for, so you came back here to see if you're going to get it right this time. Some of you are here for dharmic purposes, which means that you're virtuous. Dharma simply means that you are here because you couldn't progress further because of the love you have for a generation of people, the love you have for the time that you were there and didn't get the most of, or there are many people now that are called star seeds and walk-ins and crystals. Same metaphors in general. A star seed means that they came from a distant star system here for this purpose at this time because they could get brownie points, maybe even get some yellow and whitey points, I don't know. But it means that they could also gain some wisdom and help by virtually helping a planet which is going to become one of the most heralded, talked about planets in all the universes. And I'm choosing my words carefully. And it's now called what you call, what planet are you on? Earth. You know Earth has many names. One of the old Earth names was Saros, which means sorrows, sorrowful. Another was Terrestres. And of course you now have on this planet interterrestrials, terrestrials, and extraterrestrials. You knew what I know, didn't you? Which she was a female expression before, and now she can express herself truly as she should be, and you can be part of it. That's why the feminine aspect is being reunited now. Because your planet is a feminine gender. And she's given birth to more than she knew. She's even given birth to abnormals and everything else, but her penance is paid, and for that, she's getting double promoted. There is your whole key to tonight.
Earth is trying to rise in frequency.
Our Earth is going from the third dimension to the fifth dimension.
Go along
We're
the
now
tide,
on the
get swept away.
outskirts of the fourth dimension. That's why you can see shadow people. You wake up at night, you don't have to
Sure
sleep
is.
as long. Time seems to be flying
We
by.
can all
You're
agree
getting
on
all
that.
kind of qualifications. Things tell you to clean up your body, clean up your mind. Those are because your soul is old enough, and no matter what your corpse looks like, which is now what you call the physical body, the soul within it is only a habitat, and you got the body you deserve by the body that you wanted, and the body you wanted is a body you deserve. You change it or alter it as you would. But the thing is you want is your soul. Never give that up. There's a whole specter of species of creatures called dracons, from Dracal and Orion and Zeta Reticuli that lost their souls a long time ago. Keep yours. Whatever they tell you to do, it ain't worth losing your soul over. Whatever you offer it on this planet, and those Dracons, lizard people, upright walking serpents who are known through history, they've always talked about them, they do exist, have been around here for 3.8 billion years. You think you know history?
Actually found a temple under the Euphrates River. That temple is said to have fallen angels.
My name is EJ. I want to be a future archaeologist, and I'm about to give you a history lesson that impacts us today, that everybody should be concerned about. The Euphrates River in Egypt has dried up.
Doesn't the Bible speak about that?
The Euphrates River right
I
now
forget which
currently
book.
is going through a drought. When the river receded, they found a large temple-like structure, symmetrical structure that used sonic frequencies
The Venezuelan
under
soldier.
the river. Archaeologists flew out to the Euphrates River and explored the temple, and they found hieroglyphics on the wall that basically says, "Don't disturb the watcher." And you know what archaeologists dumbass did?
Yeah.
They kept
Of course they
digging,
did.
and they found tombs, crowns with serpent-like heads, and demonic-like figures with crowns on their head. In the Bible, it talks about there are two angels that are chained under the Euphrates River. So if the river dried up, the angels released. Then on top of that, there aren't two angels, there are four. In the Bible, it states that if those four angels were released, they would kill a third of mankind. This isn't a joke. This isn't something that is just, I'm pulling out my ass.
Wait a minute.
This is real.
Did you know?
Didn't the Georgia Guidestones that they completely destroyed 3 or 4 years ago speak about greatly depopulating the planet? There was also this brother, he was on another podcast that I seen. He was in the military for some time, and he spoke about going through Euphrates River with other soldiers that were, I guess, on a ship, and he spoke about seeing these lights under the river and how they would formulate at a certain point and morph into a ship. And he said it went through this open way that was underneath, and they could see it clear because the Euphrates River is pretty clear. It's beautiful, actually. But anyway, they went through this enclosure. It opened up, and he saw a creature chained. Now, I don't believe his brother's gonna lie. None of these military officials that have real account testimonies, like, make some shit up like that. Like, come on. Even the Afghan soldiers talking about seeing a red-headed giant in Afghanistan and them having to put like several rounds in it before it fell and died. Like, this, we gotta wake up, people. Truth is stranger than
If you
fiction.
apply electricity and magnetism to Mercury, it actually causes the Mercury to spin. And then because of its spinning, it creates a vortex. And that vortex emanates its own electromagnetic field. But that's not even the craziest part. If you take Mercury, attach it to an antenna, and then venture off deep into the woods of Siberia, guess what? You can flip through channels and watch your SpongeBob. Because Mercury has the amazing ability to receive and transmit electromagnetic waves. So this explains why Mercury in the ancient myths
so damn fast.
can travel super fast, like Quicksilver in X-Men, which is another name for Mercury. Because you can instantaneously communicate with the higher realms, aka the electromagnetic field, through Mercury. So this is why Mercury is the messenger of the gods. And all of the depictions of Hermes or Mercury, he's holding a caduceus. It's two snakes vortexing up a staff. Isn't that interesting? And it's
That
not
is
like
deep as fuck.
a conspiracy theory, because we used to literally use mercury in lighthouses. We would suspend the lights in mercury so that the light would constantly spin 24/7 instead of someone having to sit there and crank it all of the time. So this makes you wonder, is mercury so demonized in today's world because we used to use it to communicate with the higher realms, to transmit energy for free
Makes
instead
sense.
of having to constantly pay for it and slave away for the rest of our lives? You see what I'm saying? The Earth is literally a giant tourist field, but I made everything up. This was for
Yeah, it's best
entertainment
that you say
purposes
that,
only.
sir. That was dope, though.
Did you know?
Tell me what you would do if you were this lady. Do you see how spooked she looked? I'm about to show you what it is that she's seeing, y'all, because this world is opening up to some new creatures. This lady is at home visiting family in Vermont, and it's her turn to go up and stock up the wood because it's cold out there. They want to be warm, y'all. When she looks up and she looks out into the trees, y'all, she sees this unbelievable sight. You won't believe it, y'all.
No
Check this
fucking
out.
joke. I'm loading up wood.
Look how scared she
And
is.
I look up, and this is what I see. Wait for
Look
it.
at this. Look in the shadow, y'all. Look at this.
Is that Bigfoot?
Look at
Why
this.
does it
That's
look like
Bigfoot.
a goddamn Yeti?
That's
It looks like a
Bigfoot.
Yeti.
Because it's real tall.
Yo,
Look how big
Not down
that.
with it.
Look at this.
yeah, I
I think
think
it's
so.
time to go back inside now.
I mean, look at this thing. Y'all seen how scared she was.
And he
She
just
went
chilled.
back inside so fast, she didn't come back outside until the next morning. And she said this thing was gone. And that's when I would have been too. I would have never returned back to
Wow.
Vermont to see my family ever again, y'all. This is crazy. I believe we're going to be seeing some old new
Wow,
creatures
wow,
coming
wow.
into our world, y'all. Y'all ready for this shift? Let me know down in the comments what you would have done. The shift is here, y'all. Y'all see it. Let's get it. Peace in.
I'm not down with it. Alright. I think it's time to go back inside now.
Not only are there an increase in aerial activity with people seeing UFOs, you have individuals that have firsthand accounts of having experiences with mythical cryptoid-like creatures all over the world, particularly in America. There's a brother, I hate that I forget his name. He gave an interview how he saw a Lugaroo in New Orleans. A Lugaroo is another word for a werewolf. You got people seeing mermaids. It was another brother several years ago spoke about seeing another Sasquatch. This is a shift, y'all. Like, do you really think that all those stories that they told us, these fairy tales, folk tales, folklore, were just grandeurs of imagination completely? Like, nobody's seen any of these creatures. You have pygmy people, tribes in Africa, they're like literal dwarfs speaking to animals. But we'll get there. Stay tuned. I promise I eat.
I'm gonna tell you this, it's a world. Every time they dig, they find a new world. There's worlds under worlds under worlds under worlds, and some civilizations were smarter than this one, right? But there's a lot of worlds under worlds. They keep on finding them, digging them up.
It's
So
true.
let me tell you this, it's a
When is the collapse, the dimensional collapse, starting? Is it already starting?
It's already started.
With the sound and the color?
Okay, it's already started. Thank you for leading me here. What you're going to start hearing about in the very near future are something called rods, and they will be something that will be videotaped. And what you will see are large streaks just shooting through the air that are etheric, but are being able to be captured on tape. And what you're seeing is literally fourth and fifth dimensional craft moving through space, not having the slightest clue that they're flying right through us. Okay? And that's because you're beginning to see the implosion.
It really is.
It's great stuff.
It's amazing.
And ghosts?
Yes, you will see more ghosts, more apparitions, because those that are stuck between third and fourth density will start being more and more visible as our frequency starts to raise and rise. A lot of them, unless they are healed, and I do not know how to do that, how to set them free from their self-imposed prisons, will be exiting, transitioning. I will share this with you. There are definitely some things underneath the Sphinx, but the bulk of the real stuff that will tell us about our ancient history is still underneath the pyramid. And there was a vault built 3 levels deep, and the pyramid was built over it. Okay, that's where the real juice is. That's where the real knowledge is. The Sphinx will have some things, but it's a distraction. You know, these guys are real good at what they do, at diverting attention from reality, from truth. They're excellent at it. If they put that much energy into telling the truth, God, we'd all be out of here. We're going to truly find out who we are genetically. Information will be coming from all corners of the earth from contactees. There will be more and more contacts, and they will tell us about the 22 different races and more of our history. There will also be massive earth changes. They will start with a magnetic pole shift, which could happen anytime between now and the year 2001. Things have been sped up. We're already starting to see the magnetic poles shift as we see birds migrate in the wrong direction at the wrong times of year. The birds move along the Earth's magnetic grid lines.
The moon is a spaceship. It was built on Jupiter about 38 million years ago. And between the time it was built and 15,000 years ago, it's been touring around our solar system. Our solar system, we're told by NASA there's 9 planets. There's actually 40. There's the Earth plus 39. And each of those planets has a civilization, and each of those planets has moons that have civilizations. There's so much going on out there that, you know, we could not possibly grasp how much is going on in our solar system. Now, it doesn't have its own propulsion. It has to be towed. And our moon was towed into its orbit now about 15,000 years ago, just after the Ice Age. 2 moons, and then there was 1 moon. And we think that the 2 moons was the vehicle that towed our moon into space. There's a guy named Norman Berggren who's passed away now, very knowledgeable, had so many degrees and works with so many of our aerospace companies doing different things. He lived in Los Altos Hills, which was south of San Francisco, and worked at Lockheed, retired in 1986, and got a hold of some of the Voyager photos of Saturn's rings. And he wrote The Ringmakers of Saturn.
Right. Is that about the fuel coming out? The rings?
Saturn worship.
Yeah, the spaceship.
The spaceship, yeah.
There's 3 of them that he saw. And one of the biggest is 30,000 miles long and 2,400 miles in diameter. Anyway, I thought it'd be really nice to meet this guy, and I wrote him, and I just happened to be going to the UFO conference in San Jose in 2005. And I went by his house, met him, and we became friends, very good friends over the years. Unfortunately, he passed away a couple of years ago, but in the back part of The Ringmakers of Saturn, he discussed how the moon was towed into its orbit and his proof. And his proof is that Mari Oriental, one of the craters on the back, is not actually a crater, but it's a place. It has concentric rings, and he thinks that's where they grabbed onto it. And he proposed that an EMV, electromagnetic vehicle, towed it into place. I said, where do you think it is now? And he said, I think they parked it on the far side until they're ready to use it again. So I started looking for it and found it immediately on the crater Tsiolkovsky. And Tchaikovsky's on the far side. It has a very interesting history. NASA is airbrushed, completely changed the character of that crater 8 times. And, you know, it's absolutely for sure that is the electromagnetic vehicle that towed the moon in.
Okay, I just found out something completely shocking about turtles. And I honestly think they're trolling us at this point, because the natural world doesn't have time. Time doesn't actually exist, right? What the natural world has is rhythm. So time is a measurement of rhythm. but time doesn't exist. Clocks exist. Now, here's the crazy part. Turtles. I thought, when I saw this post about lunar calendar on a turtle's back, that it was like some turtles, right? There's 13 carapaces in the middle of their shell, and there's 28 along the edge of their shell, segments of their shell. 13 moons, 28 days on turtle shells. This equals 364 days plus 1 day of rest. All indigenous peoples around the world knew the wisdom of the turtle and followed a 13-month calendar, as there are 13 moon cycles in a year and 27 to 29 days per cycle. It appears that 1 month was subtracted in order to sever the connection between people with the sun, the moon, and the stars, which are themselves
because we're energetically connected.
But what I found out was it's
everything has to do with everything.
Single turtle and tortoise. Sea turtles, the same thing. A giant clock on their backs. So we're talking about the Fibonacci sequence is in the turtles, of course, as it is in all biological life forms. But the calendar is also on every single turtle's back. And you may be thinking, well, why would they change the calendar? Well, yes, to sever the connection, to alter our perception, everything. Our vibration, our reality, just a little bit more. Another thing we've never been told about in school. Isn't that interesting? Instead, we're hearing about Pythagorean theorem and carbon emissions, and they don't tell us anything about this natural world. Shocking. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and follow for more.
For thousands, well, 50,000 years really, and so there was an influx in the 1950s and the 1970s of higher vibrational beings. The controlling consciousness that is in charge at this moment of this planet is what is and are aware of every incarnate being that comes into this planet. Through sexual union between a male and a female, energy is then sent up and vibrates up through frequencies. They have technology to be able to see where, and then a soul is then attracted to a lifetime. And then the soul will then, this is just one way, a soul will then come to the womb of the mother, and they can track this. They can track this from happening. Okay, so in the 1950s, there was something called Project Oak Tree. Project Oak Tree, this is the truth about Project Oak Tree. Project Oak Tree, the oak tree itself is symbolic of Lucifer. They use the term oak tree. Oak tree is synonymous with Lucifer. So in the the controlling power that has at this time power over this planet is aware that there are very, very, very powerful beings. I don't know what you would want to call them, demigods, gods, whatever you want to call them, that there was an influx of them coming. So they didn't know where and when they were going to be here, but they needed to...
I personally believe that's why they're pushing for this digital ID stuff so much. Another way of being able to track, not just everybody in general, but they really are tracking people, probably like myself and other people that are putting out this information. They know who we are. They know who we are. Like he said, energetically, that's what the lunar light code lockdown is about, why the moon is so important for the regeneration and the reincarnation of souls back to this planet. It's a prison, in essence, the way that they created it technologically. So they definitely know that their time is up. That is it a 3,600 year cycle where we go from one astrological age into another. We're leaving Pisces and entering the age of Aquarius. They're very much aware that a lot of star seeds, indigo children, rainbow children, they came back for such a time as this because we are the shift. We are God's instruments that are here to shift the polarity, to shift the consciousness back to a higher vibrational state, because there are other dimensions above us and they're waiting for us to win this war. And we're making good time.
Find a way of tracking them.
There's thousands of them every single day on your planet. Look what's coming out of the back of it in color. 5 separate gases coming out of this reptilian tanker, dropping 5 gases at 300 feet. You're smoking their gas today because they drop this gas only on technically advancing communities on the planet. Okay? Every 4 to 6 weeks. So you could be getting it today. Not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're flying all over us. So the reason you don't see these, because they're dropping the gas. And so we are being mind controlled.
Jeez.
Not for the last couple of weeks, but for thousands of years. And back to the Romans again. Their minds were controlled. Now, I know this sounds insane.
I believe it.
But this is fact.
I mean, hell,
this is what
chemtrails alone.
They say that we are pretty much unconscious and ignorant, and we're not listening to Mother Nature. And they stated that Mother Nature is literally showing us in our faces through the natural disasters and the climate changes that we are causing. And it's showing that there's an imbalance happening in the ecosystem, and we're just not paying attention to it. And it's only going to continue with the natural disasters if we mistreat Mother Earth, right? They also compared it to how our body reacts, right? If we keep putting junk food in our body, it's going to continue making us sick, right? And Mother Earth reacts the same way. If you keep disrespecting it and not nurturing Mother Earth or Gaia, it's only going to lead to more natural disasters happening all around us, all over the world. It says nature is constantly signaling and speaking to us that something is off. It is balanced, and that it is out of balance, and it needs to be fixed, but we're not listening, and we're thinking that our actions are not leading to these natural disasters that are occurring. Natural disasters are going to continue and intensify if we don't correct our behavior and become more mindful of how, not only how we treat nature, but how we treat our own species and how we treat others. The Kuduru said our relationship with nature, right? Human relationship with nature has died. It has been lost for a very long time, and we need to reconnect with it and follow the ways of actually the indigenous tribe that they taught back in the day, like the Udus, the Hopis, right? The way that they were taught to preserve and live by these traditions in connection with nature and respecting and understanding nature to a whole different degree, so we could actually preserve and take care of the ecosystem, right? And come up with solutions that are eco-friendly to our environment, so we don't keep destroying ourselves, because pretty much all of the actions that we take are leading back to us, and it's destroying our very own species. They also mentioned that they're trying their best to help humans. They said they cannot intervene, right? Because of free will. Everyone has free will as a species. They could only guide, they could only give direction and advice. And that's pretty much what they're doing right now. They said they're not upset at humans. So it's not that they're upset at us, but they're just disappointed that humans have not figured out and tried correcting their ways. And that we could actually see it, and it's in front of us that we are destroying ourselves and our planet by now. It is evident, they said it's evident looking in at the damage that is being caused to deteriorate and worsen, and we're allowing these things to happen and not standing up for ourselves and standing together.
Well, I think that's shifting. Like I was mentioning earlier in the beginning of the video, we're becoming a lot more aware of what's happening on our planet. And I think it's beginning to compel us to the point of fighting back in large numbers. Because before, you'll see a protest here, a revolution there, but not on a global scale. You know what I'm saying? And I think collectively we're just all deciding, like, enough's enough. Like, we know that how those that are currently in power is slowly corroding and deteriorating our planet. We see that, but it's only so much we can do, right? As individuals. Now, I do believe a collective, strong unit of a positive consciousness can override evil at any point. Well, I mean, we're seeing it now, actually. They're on their way out. But while they're on their way out, they're kicking and screaming, throwing furniture all over the house, crashing the windows, you know what I'm saying? And this is like their last ditch effort of trying to hold on to their power, right? But it's shifting. You know, if you haven't done any research or don't have understanding of what the Hopi prophecy entails, look it up. Look it up. I think it'll definitely edify you and give you a bit more understanding of what this sister was talking about.
Right at the end of the year, these shamans did rituals in Peru. These Peru shamans did these rituals and predicted the downfall of a guy named Maduro. He recently just got caught up in Venezuela, and they're saying Trump is gonna have an illness, but they already done hit with the guy in Venezuela. So maybe these shamans ain't playing. They ain't fucking around, bro. Or they just telling the times. You gotta remember when it comes to the Hopi tribes, and a lot of them shits was accurate. The Hopi tribe prophecies, go look into that.
I don't want what you got. It's not like I got a discipline. You're gonna offer me $1 million to sell out, and I'm gonna take them. We're past that. There's nothing you have that I want. And that's what our ancestors said to Christopher Columbus when he came. Right. There's nothing you have that we want. There's no reason for you to be here. There's nothing that you have that we want. We're incorruptible. But then now the gun come out. Oh, well, now I got to kill, rob, rape, the bomb, the attack dog. Because now violence has to be the authority now. Right, force. As long as force, violence, that's what they rule by, violence and force. But the true kings are still the true kings. Look at the Declaration of Independence, U.S. Constitution. They say this clown wrote that. Thomas Jefferson and James Madison and George Washington had to weigh in on it. These are criminals, okay? Right. They could not live up to the United States Constitution. This is not my opinion. Look at them and look at the Constitution. Look at the Declaration of Independence, and then look at the people that they said wrote it. You can see the truth in it right there. You did not write this because your character can't match it. The true people that wrote it, you put them on the plantation, you ran them off, sent them over to the West Indies and brought the West Indian people here. This is what you killed democracy upon arrival. You killed the rule of law upon arrival. But the true king is natural to humanity. When the king walks by, the flowers bloom. True king. When the born king, when the queen, when the kendake walks by, the birds start singing. We don't even know. We don't have this reality. Okay, because we're not noticing it. You walk down the street, you listen to police sirens. The birds are still chirping. Right. You can't hear them. Birds still chirping, but you don't speak their language no more. Why? So then that bird don't respect you as the king no more. Now we all just animals eating us. Think about ancient humans and how animals were all over the planet. Okay, eating everything. Okay, lions.
And we live in harmony with them.
How you figure? How do the pygmies talk to elephants? The pygmies, they talk to the elephant, and the elephant responds. Okay, where's this language? Where's this being? The true king, when the true king walks, the sea does open up.
Indeed.
Nature responds to the true king, to the true queen. We were not born from other people. We're born from nature itself. The original people of the planet, the first people of the planet, are not born from other people. There's no other people. So where you come from? You first on the planet. Where you come from? You the first human. You don't come. Everybody else.
Those are genetic facts.
Every other race, every other ethnicity come out of Africa. They got the African Eve theory going. They got genetic Eve going. They can trace everybody down to this one a group of black women and la. No, not you. Nah. You don't come from other humans. You come from nature itself, from God itself. The intent of nature made up.
A person who can walk between worlds carries a kind of knowing that can't be taught. Most people live only in what they can see, trusting the surface of life to guide them. But the one who feels the echo of memory in their blood moves with a deeper truth. Because epigenetic imprinting doesn't lie. It whispers the lessons their ancestors survived. They read energy the way others read faces. Their intuition, their inheritance. And here's why that's powerful. You can't misdirect someone who senses the intention underneath the action. You can't fool a heart that's been shaped by generations of knowing. And when life repeats itself, they recognize the pattern long before it becomes pain. That kind of awareness shifts their whole trajectory. And here's the irony. The more they trust their inherited knowing, the more aligned their path becomes. The person who listens to their bloodline walks with a confidence that doesn't need permission. That's not magic. That's memory waking up. And it's one of the most grounding and electrical forms of power a human can carry. If this resonated with you, type bridge in the comments.
I'll speak on that real quick. Vibrationally, there are those that are in the spiritual community that find themselves in a flux, and myself included, I can speak personally, where lately you want to tap in that much more internally, and when you do that, it causes you to withdraw outwardly, not because you view yourself as better than anyone, or that you pedestalize any type of idea that you might live or stand by. It's just more so of a protective mechanism of your higher self pointing you toward elevation, and you trying to dim the distraction as much as possible. Lately, I've found myself being in a space of extra sensitive to frequency, to intention. So I know what the brother was saying is true, because I've operated like that for a long time, but it's just become exponentially deeper and more profound these past several months. And it's hard to put into words. You get in this flow state of where you just allow what aligns with you to align, whether it be long-term or seasonally. And you just don't try to force what doesn't, no matter how much your ego wants it. And that's key, because you have to differentiate between the two. Your higher self is always going to tell you what's right, but our egoic mind wants to try. We want to see how things are going to work out according to how we see things playing out in our head. And they may not always be the grand design, or maybe it is, and it's just a karmic lesson for you to learn from. But the more you tap in, the less you feel you need to involve yourself in karmic lessons, because you've already created an equilibrium with your karma in general, if that makes sense. But just, hey, y'all, tap in, man. Do your meditations, sage your atmosphere, and reflect the good that you want to see onto others, and your life will change tremendously.
And that means you can't rely on the media as it is today either.
Oh, of course not. All the media in this country, radio, television, and print, is all owned by 5 corporations. All of these corporations that own the media are owned and controlled, and members of the Council on Foreign Relations sit on their board of directors. Remember, if you go down and you trace the ownership of a station or a newspaper, and you get to a corporation, remember that somebody owns that corporation, and it's usually another corporation. But when you trace the interlocking of all these things, when you get to the top, there's 5. And all journalists know that there's some things you don't write about, and you don't talk about, because you'll lose your job. And that's where the control is. And that's why they pay anchormen like Dan Rather $2 million a year.
Oh, he's a puppet.
Because he doesn't question them. He knows that if he goes against them, he's going to lose $2 million a year. Do you think a man that looks pretty and sits in front of a TV camera for the 6 o'clock news is worth $2 million a year? No way. I don't care how long he works, and I don't care what he does. There is no job worth $2 million a year. That's why they pay athletes these fantastic salaries. I was listening to the radio the other day. They just contracted to pay one player on one team $6 million a year.
Now they're getting paid upwards to.
And why is that?
35 to 40 million.
It's the Roman circus.
It's crazy.
What does the emperor do when the people become restive, and when the people are asking questions, and when the people don't like the policies of the emperor?
Distraction.
He sends them to the circus. He creates a circus. He builds a giant coliseum. And he begins to throw the Christians to the lions. And he has great chariot races and football games and basketball games, all to keep the idiots preoccupied with things that don't mean anything in the scheme of the entire world. So that they don't have the time to learn what the truth is. So they don't ever get smart enough to learn how they're being manipulated. So they don't ever question the emperor. That's why they pay a player on a football team or a baseball team $1 million or $2 million or $3 million a year. It is the Roman circus.
Pretty much.
I know men who don't know anything in the world except who plays third base for the Mets. And they think that's a great accomplishment. And they meet and pat each other on the back and bond and go have cocktails and talk about what this guy that plays third base for the Mets did in last night's game. It's sad. It's really sad.
Is there any room in a kind of society where these manipulations are not taking place for this type of entertainment or any type of entertainment at all?
If people understand that a game is a game, if people understand that nobody, no matter what they do,
absolutely
is worth paying $2 or $3 million a year for. People should be able to get rich if they want to, by the sweat of their individual labor. Okay, by going out and doing something for the world, not by taking people's minds away from the emperor. It's a game. Football's a game. Football's a game. But let me tell you something. When 150 of the most powerful men and women in the world can meet in secret in Baden-Baden, Germany, and plot the fate of billions, and nobody even cares about it. But 6 football players go to lunch together, and it's in the headlines across the country.
Of society's
a reflection
mentality
of the society
and priorities
that exists. And it is a sick society that is doomed to self-destruction.
So based on that scenario, there's some truth into what these men are looking at.
Absolutely, and that's what makes me so sick, is that I'm trying to wake up a people who on a daily basis are proving the ones that I'm warning them about to be right.
Well, so that even though a minority, there are people out there that you recognize are awake to this, if they don't do something about it, they will lose that ability to be free in that way.
That's correct.
Whether they might think, well, I don't need to worry about it because I know what I know and I'm fine.
That's
it doesn't
right.
work that way. There's a connection here to everything.
That is correct. That is absolutely correct.
Literally trapped your star that was floating around in space. They've erased your memory like they do when you die and you go into the light. They recycle you and they erase your memory and place you back into an embryo. Listen to me, people. This is
that lunar code lockdown I was talking about.
You're a star at your heart.
That's what he's
You've been
explaining.
cubed. Okay, your kundalini is a trap. You're a free energy machine and you can't detect it. Now you're forced to take a shit, get horny, get hungry, get a pain in your heart, a frog in your throat. Your feet, where your souls are, okay, 2 below you, 3 above you. Listen, you can put this shit together, people. They rub a lot of stuff in your faces called lesser magic. It takes your blood off of their hands, all right? You've been worshiping Saturn along with everybody else. You take your energy from the one true sun and plant an animal, and then you feed it directly to the black hole sun. That's all you do, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You breathe Satan's chemical air. You drink his fluoridated water. You eat his poison-rich foods.
We just
And when I
going
say
through it,
Satan, I
y'all.
mean
God.
Saturn. Saturn is obviously, there's a cult on Earth, and they've got us all worshiping Saturn.
It's one thing to be aware of these things and to incorporate changes in your lifestyle to make sure that you have a semblance of control of what you eat and what you put in your brain. But to not be aware at all, and to know that you have individuals out here that aren't privy to anything he said, and they just live their lives still believing that there's a government that cares about them, that the media is telling them 100% of the truth. Religions that continue to rob them of their sustenance while they get richer off of propagating lies. It makes me sad, you know, and it's a tough place to be in, because I was that person. We all were, you know, we've all been domesticated, and it's our dutiful responsibility to get ourselves out of that domestication and to free our soul. But just, man, to know the majority of the people are going along with the charade, it is bothersome. It really is. Just gotta keep on pushing.
Y'all kids finna be slaves. I mean, we might as well burn this bitch to the ground, nigga, so our kids ain't gotta go through this shit. But what if we die? Nigga, you already dead, nigga. Fuck you got to live for, nigga. Your spirit, that's what you got to stand for, nigga. So that this shit ends with us. So that it don't keep going on, nigga. We the last generation, nigga. They took everything from us. You already dead, nigga. What you scared to go? You gonna die anyway. You ain't alive. You ain't living. How you living? You don't even know who you is. You pay for everything. You don't even know who you is. You been dead, nigga. You a fucking slave. You get the fuck up every day and you go work all fucking day for them. And then come home and get a few hours of rest and then go do it all over again.
Cycle.
All for your whole fucking life until you fucking die, nigga. So you already fucking dead, nigga. You're gonna leave here one day anyway. Even though death isn't real, your soul is gonna leave here anyway. Niggas acting like, hey, if we don't rebel, we gonna live on this bitch forever. Nigga, you're going to leave here one day anyway. You goofy ass, scary ass house Negroes. You act like being a house Negro gonna stop them from trying to take your goofy ass out. You can be a house Negro all you want, and they still be going upside y'all shit.
You're in a
Free Rashad Jamal.
video game called Life on Earth, and if you're watching this video, you're probably a lot closer to winning the game than you might think. It does really seem to be that we live in a simulation. There's almost no matter in reality, and it's just photons, light, energy that responds to our emotions and our thoughts. And so what's the objective? What's the purpose of this experience, this video game matrix simulation? I want to offer a few perspectives, saving the most intriguing one for last. Many people talk about we're souls on a growth and healing journey, and that comes through experiences. I love the book Journey of Souls. It talks about the planning process of picking our life, our body, our family, our challenges, and I get head to toe goosebumps when I read this book. I can't recommend it enough. Another perspective is that it's all about love. We're here to learn how to choose love over fear. And I want to point out that a lot of us forget to give ourselves that love. We focus it outward, but you are every bit as important as anybody else. And ultimately, I don't think there is anybody else, that we're all fundamentally one at some level. So when you give yourself love, you are giving love out to the collective. Another reason we might be here.
Culture is not your friend. Culture is for other people's convenience and the convenience of various institutions, churches, companies, tax collection schemes. It insults you, it disempowers you, it uses and abuses you. None of us are well treated by culture. And yet we glorify, the creative potential of the individual, the rise of the individual. We understand the felt presence of experience is what is most important. But the culture is a perversion. It fetishizes objects, creates consumer mania, it creates endless forms of false happiness, endless forms of false understanding in the form of swirly religions and silly cults. It invites people to diminish themselves and dehumanize themselves, and yet you can stand back and look at this planet and see that we have the money, the power, the medical understanding, the scientific know-how, the love, and the community to produce a kind of human paradise. But we are led by the least among us, the least intelligent, the least noble, the least visionary, and we do not fight back against the dehumanizing values that are handed down as control icons.
Listen, what another awesome video installment of wonderful knowledge and information that has been deliberated for us to internalize and to ultimately make ourselves better by reflecting again what we want to experience in life. Like, listen, y'all, I'm gonna be real. Like, I know it's a lot going on. Anybody with a semblance of compassion or consciousness can see that our world is broken, and knowing that and going through your own stuff in your own private life, it can be very overwhelming. I get that. I really do. Like, I've been there. I have my days where I'm just like, man, like what is really going on? You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you have to understand and put things into its proper perspective. This is not real. This is not how reality is supposed to operate. We have been sold a bill of goods. And in order for this cycle to complete itself and to crash and to crumble, we have to be a part of the restoration process. And that comes by taking care of our bodies, putting in the right food, nutrients, phytochemicals in our system, treating people with love and respect. Speak to somebody that you don't know. Like, I make it a habit daily, whether I'm at the gym, grocery store, whatever, like hike, I speak to people, because that short little magnetic connection, the words that are spoken, the power can be transmuted into something that is beneficial for that person in that moment, that you don't know what that person's going through, but just a friendly gesture of warmness and compassion and love can make the biggest difference in somebody's life. So get out of your shell, you know, even though you it's kind of like a catch-22, because you want to protect yourselves, like I was saying earlier, but at the same time, you also don't want to be closed off from the potentiality of love and a message spoken to power entered into your soul and your being. So just use discernment, get out in nature. It is definitely a serotonin and a dopamine booster. Take supplements, vitamins as best as you can. The main ones I would say is vitamin D, some type of B complex, magnesium, and echinacea, which is an immune booster, or something like golden seal. And what this will do is it'll just keep your immune system purified. You keep your digestive system working to its optimum level, and just generally you'll just feel better about yourself. We are threefold. We're body, mind, and we're spirit. And when all those things are aligned, our whole world changes. And that goes back to what I was saying as far as not viewing the world from a lens of what's being presented by the media alone, but formulating your own understanding based off of your consciousness and your intuition as far as the trajectory in which the world is going in. It's getting better. Before things get better, they have to be bad, you know. But at the same time, you want to make sure that you're on the right side of history as this is transpiring. Some of us came here for a mission, and I know myself, I was brought back to heal. I was brought back to encourage. I was brought back to be the beacon for my lineage, for my family, and I just take everything one step at a time. So the more you focus on the positive, the more that you put out manifestations of goodness and purity and righteousness, it'll reflect right back in here, and you'll start seeing it externally on a day in and day out basis. So dealing with the trials or the problems that are presented in life won't be as daunting, because you have peace in your heart. So with all that being said, I can be on my little rant of of positivity all night, but I want to thank you guys for tuning in again. please, like, if you're in the comment section, if you want to leave some thoughts, you want to leave your own rationalization as to what was shared, just get out your soul. Like, let's share some space, make some comments, like the video again, and just share it with as many people as you can. But you know, until next time, man, I love y'all. Please stay in a space of love, because it will come back to you in ways that you cannot possibly imagine. And take care of yourselves, man. So till the next time, stay in peace, stay in order, live abundantly, and I'll catch up with y'all later. Peace.